Hello everybody, I'm just here and welcome back to Symphogear GX episode 10, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed, I am not. Today we're watching episode 10 and we have 13 episodes per season, not 12. So we have a couple more, one more episode than I thought we had. What does it change? I don't know. But it does change the count of episodes. So that's worth mentioning, I guess. In the previous episode, in episode 9, Tsubasa got character growth. That's basically the summary of that episode. Tsubasa got over her perception of herself as a sword because she was placed to fight an anti-sword. Kinda cheesy, not gonna lie. Kinda a little bit cheap, right? That to make Tsubasa notice that she's not a sword, she had to face against an anti-sword. If she was faced with an anti-bow, she would still think herself to be a sword. So a little bit iffy on that regard, but she did get some character growth. She did get some new attacks because her swords are not swords anymore; those are wings. Because of course they are fiery wings of a phoenix or whatever. She kinda sorta mended her relationship with her father. It wasn't like said explicitly. Everybody is still very cold in that family, and the whole family is plenty fucked up still. But she did get some words of encouragement during her fight, so I guess that has to count for something, right? Alas, during that fight, the waystone or whatever it was called that guarded the local ley line was destroyed, but they got some information on something. I think on other ley lines or something like that. They did get some papers to analyze at their base, so we got something out of it. Carol is of course back, and she snuck into the place where they were keeping all of the relics, and Ver, the motherfucking relic eater. Great choice there. Fucking make a pedophile do time tending to preschool children. Why don't you? Like. Amazing choice, amazing foresight, truly. So of course Ver is back. I'm happy that Ver is back because I do enjoy him as a character, and I still have a smidge of hope that he's gonna join our team, and that it's truly gonna be a team of misfits. Then we have girls from all walks of life. We have a homunculus now. Why don't we have a half man, half monster? Right? Might as well at this point. But I don't know. We're gonna fight that. That's for sure, because he saved Carol. Now, sure, the tablet that she needed was destroyed, but it probably can be fixed. And now Ver is our biggest issue. Why was he jailed there? I don't know. Whoever made that decision should be fired, but it's probably for plot convenience. I noticed that during this season I complain a lot about like plot convenience, things happening because plot convenience, right? Something happening to I don't know, to Hibiki because she has to grow. Kirika and Shirabe having a lover's spat out of fucking nowhere because they have to grow. A lot of moments like that, and this very much feels like another one of those. But it is what it is. Ver is here, and we're gonna have to fight him. Him first, and then maybe Carol. although Carol isn't really in a state to fight because she's kind of fucking weak, all things considered. She's no autoscorer, she's no Symphogear user, she's just a human child with some fancy magic, but they aren't really standing trials against Symphogear. Her shields can very easily be broken down, and if not for that, she probably would have been dead, or at least knocked unconscious. What else? I fear for Hibiki. That's one thing I have to mention. I fear for her mental state. She says everything is fine, but we can clearly see that not everything is fine. On the contrary, the whole situation with her father still very much weighs on her, and that's gonna be like another thing she's gonna have to deal with, and another example of character growth. That's gonna be a lot of character growth for a single character in the span of single season. It really feels to me like they really should have rolled all those character growth moments that Hibiki had throughout this season into one cohesive like storyline. Right? She's fighting underground, she knocks out Carol, she destroys some pipes and half the city doesn't have running water, and she feels guilty about it and she loses her voice. Then her father comes in and everything like compounds, and that leads her to truly like find herself again. But we got a few situations kind of out of the ass that were solved, and she got character growth out of nowhere, kinda. I mean, she did get character growth because of what happened, but what happened out of nowhere, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna stop rambling now. I'm gonna stop rambling, and we're gonna just start watching, because that's the best way to go about it, isn't it? So how about them subs, and how about them sounds, and also about them supports. You can support the channel on Patreon, throw links in the description, or by sharing my content, spreading the word, subscribing, all that jazz. Everything that brings more people to the channel and makes YouTube believe that my content is worth recommending. Right. I think maybe a little bit more zoom. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, we can start watching episode 10 of Symphogear GX, and we can do that in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, time for a comeback. I need a hero. I'm going after a hero till the end of the night, and he's gotta be strong. I need a hero would fit perfectly over this. Doctaveru indeed. Please tell me someone made a mashup of this scene with I Need a Hero. Is there anybody left to have character growth? Chris? Maybe? I don't know, I don't think so. Everybody had their character growth moments, didn't they? Hibiki had like 3. Miku? Ah, no. Miku is perfect as she is, honestly. Like, legit. Miku is probably the most stable and the most well-adjusted person of their entire group. If she was given a Symphogear, she'd be a force to be reckoned with. because you can't sway her. She has no long-standing issues to, like, I don't know, break her concentration. She has no dark past. The perfect warrior. Mentally perfect. How about to give us current gen linker then? Honestly, I don't doubt that. Yeah. Why? I mean, that's not wrong. Can't, like, Elf9 figure link her out, though? She seems to have a lot of knowledge about relics. Of course, cowering when it's time to actually fight. Yeah. Precisely. Yeah. You are underwater after all. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay, seems like it's gonna be a character growth episode for Chris. Friendly fire. Not here anymore. Okay, so he was like, I don't know, chained to the wall here and forced to produce linker or something? Yeah, character growth episode for Chris. Her issues are gonna be solved by the end of this episode, calling it now. Yeah, weird that you weren't notified. Weird that you didn't try to do anything about that. Okay, so it is broken. Did she take the pieces? Okay, how come their memories are different? Yeah, how come Elf9 understands father's intentions and Carol doesn't? Hmm. Did Carol, like, accidentally move all the, like, positive memories to Elf9? Right, he's all about that fame. Yeah, of course. He's chasing the events. Indeed. Through the eyes of Elf 9. Yeah, yeah. Dangerous place to be at. Don't bring your logic into it. That's very much Chris, isn't it? Yeah, they are already working together. They already had their character altering, character building episode. Yeah, it does seem to be. Are we gonna get an explanation? What's the deal with Autoscorers dying, triggering something? Yeah, what's the deal with that? What's the deal with their songs? Please do. Probably. Through Elf9. Unwilling mole, but a mole nonetheless. Calling Miku? Calling Miku, of course. Miku best girl. Maybe fucking don't. Probably badly. Well, at least they are having fun. Yep. Pretty much exactly that. Okay. Hello, Carol. Hello, Carol's projection. You're a part of her flesh. Dine's life's melody. Okay, so the Ignite song was the significant part. Yeah, that's why they released Elf9 and allowed her to take Dine's life. Thank you for clearing her name. Okay, how very gracious of you, Carol, to clear the name of. Okay, Carol is also homunculus. What the fuck? I guess her body's homunculus because it's her spare. It would seem so. But they can prevent leaking more, so. Like, locking you in a room is better than not locking you in a room. Yeah, exactly. Watch Chris use it. You dying isn't gonna help anything. Yeah. And now close your eyes and shut your ears. Ignite time. What would that be? Nephilim? Something tells me it might be Nephilim. And she's gonna make an enemy of Ver. Okay, Ligma Henshin. By the power of the hexagons. Is it the first time we see her henshin in GX? I don't think so, but maybe. Oh. Okay. Coin Tonfas. Why not? The underwater giant thing is her little sister. But they are finished with you. That's the problem. It's not a one-sided relationship. Both have to be willing. Oh, big coins. For a moment, I thought that it would be funny if they were like flattened like in cartoons, but probably a wrong time to think about it. Ignite. Okay, that's like reverse character growth. Oh, they're alive. Okay, and Chris's entire speech was for naught. So character growth after all. And here comes the fuck up. Okay, at least she managed to do it without much issue. I was afraid that her like mental state would make it harder, but no. I gotta say though, I kinda wish Chris's Ignite Symphogear and Ignite weapons were a little bit different. Okay. I guess that is different. Because everybody's Ignite gear is fairly different from their usual. And Chris just used the same thing except black. And of course, riding the rocket, the classic move. And that's what she wanted. The song has been recorded. And the completion of the Chateau de Tifauge has progressed. Yeah, character growth. Again, we're continuing with the theme of start an episode, create issue, solve issue, end the episode. That's the little sister. You need to have a Megazord. Ride a rocket up, maybe? Just an idea, just a suggestion, really. That's gonna burst a couple of vessels and fuck up your lungs. Cliffhanger? And suddenly kaiju. Suddenly kaiju indeed. And there goes another base. Japanese treasury hates them. They're gonna have to find fund another vessel or another base or something. Yeah, whenever this music starts playing, you can be sure it's cliffhanger time. Okay, so now everybody had their character growth episode, right? Or is someone gonna go through a second one, like Hibiki did? I'm not sure how much of a fan of this episode I am, to be like perfectly honest with you. It wasn't bad, but hardly the best. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it when we go through this episode again, because there were a few things that I wasn't particularly fond of. Okay, so play, stop, full screen, stop, 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 everything stop. Okay, how about we go through this episode again, shall we? A little bit of backstory on Ver. That he was close there and not, like, particularly secure. This just looks like drywall and some iron bars. You'd think that with his super powerful arm, he'd be behind, like, vault doors or something, right? Like 7 layers of reinforced concrete and solid tungsten doors or something, but no. He was just locked up behind some bars that he could probably just rip apart with his Nephilim arm. Yeah, Ver is back, and he's again all about being a hero. And this is honestly the highlight of this episode. I'll be honest. The fact that he has to be kept alive because he's the only one who knows how to make Linker. I wonder if Elf9 will be able to make it in the future, perhaps. Also, I wonder if maybe he... Oh! Ver and being a hero. Ver and being a hero. Carol wants to destroy the world. Ver is obsessed with the idea of saving the world, with being a hero. There's... Destroying the world can hardly be called saving it. And if the world is destroyed, there's nobody to laud you as a hero either. Something tells me Ver is gonna have a disagreement with Carol. Oh yeah. Ver wants to save the world. Carol to destroy it. Ver will turn against her. Because even his shenanigans with the frontier were a twisted, sure, but a way of saving humanity. Right? Of saving the world. Of being a hero. He would damn the planet, but in his mind, he would take enough people onto the frontier to repopulate the Earth. Enough people being him and Tsubasa, sure, but regardless, right? He wanted to be loaded a hero. He wanted to save humanity. Carol wants to destroy all of that. Including herself, including Ver, including everything else. I don't think that would agree with him. Forced to rely on that garbage that I can't stop laughing. And yeah, suddenly we get Chris, like, rolled back. Suddenly she's like, oh no, you stopped my rocket! As if other enemies never stopped her attacks or others' attacks. Oh, the shame! You embarrassed me in front of my kohais. I will now experience character regression. That seems to be a running theme in this season. And that's one of the things I didn't like about this episode, honestly. Where episode begins with a character suddenly experiencing some issues out of the ass, like Hibiki, like Kirika and Shirabe, like Chris. I think only maybe Maria, Tsubasa's case, was handled correctly, right? Because she had issues with her family for a long time. It's not something that just happened with the beginning of the episode. She had a pretty fucked up family situation. She had a pretty fucked up relationship with her father, to the point where she like became a sword, and we've known that since episode 1 of season 1. Well, maybe episode 2 of season 1, but very early on. So it makes sense that she would experience character growth now. Right? That she would experience any sort of character growth, because those are long-standing issues she had, and she has to resolve them. In case of Hibiki, in case of Chris, in case of Kirika and Shirabe, it's everything is fine. Oh no, issue. Oh yes, solution. Everything is fine. Right? It's not really character growth. It's going back to status quo. At least that's how I see it. Right? Tsubasa experienced actual growth. She was the sword. Hey, growth! I'm no longer a sword. Those aren't swords, those are my wings, and I will soar through the skies. Right? That's growth. Maria also had some issues with, oh, I was one of the buddies, and I did all those terrible things, and this and that, and hey, maybe someone can rely on me, maybe I can be reliable, right? Maybe I'm not as bad as I think I am. Character growth, again. The others, just going back to status quo. And not even having been given the chance, if the viewers weren't given the chance to like mull it over, to let it sink. Because if you were to go for a low and then end the episode, then that low lasts a week. The perception of time is different, right? Because even though in the next episode they start right where they left off, you are left for a week with the knowledge that Chris is at her low. So when you start watching the next episode, you start from the point of Chris was at her lowest for a week now. And now there's growth. And oh yeah, Chris grew after a week of being down. It hits different. If everything plays out in the span of like 15 minutes, there's no impact. I'm sorry, but there just isn't. When I saw that Chris just went through this, like, oh, I'll pay back the shame. Oh, I need my kohais to revere me and whatnot. Like, I immediately knew that she's gonna be fine by the end of the episode. Because that's been the theme, that's been the schema of how things go in Symphogear, in Symphogear GX. Entirely and utterly predictable. And that makes it lose even more impact. And yeah, of course, she completely reverted to, oh, I don't need their help, yada yada yada, oh, friendly fire. Next time if we work together, no, we're not gonna work together, I'll do it myself. Didn't she go through it already? The whole arc of her going to school, finding friends, finding normal life. Maybe I do have friends now, right? People care about me, people laugh with me, I'm having fun. And suddenly, Ver captured her attack, and she's like, no, I must do it alone. I'm a lonely wolf. Rawr. Genuinely makes no sense to me. Yeah, I've got to go, or how can I call them my juniors? Yeah, she can't get Yantra Sarvasha anymore. Sarvasva. I believe that was what her father wanted. Culmination of alchemic science, a world distractor. Like a giant flask, I think she compared it. Giant flask, yeah, so I'm assuming the idea is to use the shuttle and the photosphere, maybe, I don't know, to dissolve the world into, like, primordial mass or whatever, and to analyze it atom by atom. I'm guessing that's like a misguided attempt at understanding the world, which might be some sort of a corrupted version of her father telling her to experience the world. Experience means get to know, means analyze. What's the best way to analyze? Well, dissolve and observe. How can we dissolve the world? With Chateau de Tiforge. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna destroy the world, and we're gonna analyze it. I'm assuming that's how Carol's logic went. Although there is a question, why does Elf9 remember the, like, actual events? Why does Elf9 know that it wasn't their father's wishes? That their father never wished for that? Is my theory correct? Did I have it noted somewhere? Yeah, Carol removed all her positive memories and gave them to Elf9 for safekeeping, to avoid wavering or something like that. Yeah, to avoid wavering when it's time to destroy the world, and that's why she only remembers the destroy part and not the true actual part. I don't know. I'm not sure. Lost consciousness. Hardly surprising given how many high-level phonic gain users were present. So Carol is weak to phonic gain? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I'm no longer a person, just an object. I lost all rights, even an identity. I think it is just a little bit of foreshadowing that Ver is still very much obsessed with personality, with his identity and stuff like that. And when he learns that Carol plans to turn everything into dust, he's not gonna agree. Because if people are dust, who is there to call out his name as a hero, right? You're at the bottom of the sea, blast doors. And yeah, this really exemplifies just how badly has Chris regressed. Kirika and Shirabe are having perfect teamwork, right? Yeah, let's remember half. Let's work together with each other. They've been like that from the very beginning, except that a little bit of time when Kirika thought that she has Fine's spirit within her. But from that point on, they were always fighting together in unison. There was even that moment where they were able to like use their power that's more than a sum of their parts or something like that. And then they suddenly had a disagreement, and then they agreed again, and they're at status quo again. And the exact same thing is happening with Chris. That's the first time we see the remains of an autoscorer. And yeah, apparently Ignite songs, cursed melodies, specifically, the Ignite songs are necessary to power up the chateau. I don't know. Some random moments with Hibiki. How do they find the location? We know that it's because of Elf9, and apparently there's a mole. Our role as autoscorers was to cause the gear users to sing that song. Autoscorer, does it like make more sense name-wise? Like auto-recorder, score, musical score, automatically recording the score of the Ignite songs to then use it to power up the chateau? And yeah, Elf9 was part of the plan all this time. I feel. She was given Dine's life. She was chased, perhaps even in the direction where the girls were. It really feels like 7-dimensional chess. Except it does make sense in retrospect. Because sometimes you have a series, anime or manga or light novel or whatever, that tries to pull this move, where like 17 episodes in, it suddenly starts talking about how, oh yes, actually me dropping the fork in episode 3 was a part of my plan because bullshit, 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 bullshit. Right? From what I recall, from what people said, one of the like Sherlock shows that aired on Netflix or whatever was kind of like that. It was a show about people who stupid people think are smart people. Kind of sort of deal. Kind of like Big Bang Theory, except less comedy and more bullshitting around. Like, I don't know. I saw your reflection in the glass marble that fell through the window because I told my assistant 3 weeks ago to build a catapult because I predicted that, and I placed a piece of cheese on the string of that catapult, and I placed a marble because I knew that today is the mating season of the common weasel, and that weasel took the cheese and it fired the marble at the perfect time so I could see your reflection, right? That kind of deal. And it just doesn't fucking work. This works. In retrospect, this works. Credit where it's due. GX has been kind of fucking weak about their character growth episodes, but the overarching story, thumbs up. Not a huge fan of this exposition dump. We're breaking it up with a little moment spent here, a little moment spent there, so it's not just talking heads constantly, but ultimately it is just talking heads except in different locations. I've already done what Carol wanted and leaked your intel. Yeah. Kinda makes me wish like that the thing with Elf9 was just left this way, and maybe someone figures it out, or maybe Elf9 herself figures it out. Maybe she like, I don't know, they're running through the underwater base or something. Elf9 gets an idea. She closes her eyes, and suddenly they can't navigate and they slow down, and that confirms her suspicions, or you know, something like that. Some like natural, organic way to come to that conclusion, because this really seems a little like beating the viewer over the head with facts. Like, it was implied, heavily implied, nay, it was shown explicitly that Carol can see through Elf9's eyes. And yet this moment is kinda like, oh, by the way, if you are still too fucking stupid to figure it out, here's what happened. Not a fan of that, but whatever. It works because we're getting some interaction from Elf9 as she learns about that from Carol herself, which is, I guess, it's a great character moment for Carol, for Genjuurou, and for the other two mooks on the bridge whose names I can never remember because they are very rarely used. Very significant characters, but we don't really know their names all that often. Yeah, they have their melody. Must hold. All use of the ignite module. Particles are blocking. Run. Like, walk away. Jump onto the rooftop. I mean, it's Ogawa we're talking about. I refuse to believe that he can't escape those particles in the air. But they decided to just stand there and marvel at the beauty of the particles that block communication. And yeah, everybody's correct here. Absolutely. The enemy just used her. It's not Elf9's fault. She was just used, and Carol is very disgruntled about it, because she wanted to sow some discord among their ranks, but alas, or perhaps thankfully, it wasn't that easy. We're catching up. Henshin. Switching to battle spectator mode. And yeah, we're fighting. And Chris gets a character moment of, oh, fuck, they're dead. And she reverts. And they're back. And somehow they employ a perfect mastery of Tokno Jutsu. Right, at least we can stay with you so we won't be lonely. You aren't lonely after all, Chris-chan. We're relying on you, Chris-senpai. You're gonna teach us. And we're back to status quo with Chris. The episode never happened. Dine's life. And that's exactly what they wanted. Another cursed song. And if you didn't know that, if you didn't realize that, here's a smile. That tells you she wanted that all along. This is a very cool example of teamwork, though. So, props for that. Yeah, being pulled back by the chain rope thing that she usually uses for her guillotine attack. She throws saw blades at switches. Great example of teamwork. I mean, commendable. Honestly, again, credit where it's due. I can only cut loose because I know you two are backing, yeah. Complete 180. Here comes the kaiju. And we're jumping up instead of using a rocket for some reason. And I honestly thought we're gonna see... it would kind of be cool to see Hibiki's reaction to the kaiju suddenly appearing. That would be cool, wouldn't it? But I guess we're going through the classic cliffhanger of, oh no, they are all dead. Probably not, though. But we're gonna let you believe that they are all dead. Okay, that's the episode. That's the episode. Yeah, that was episode 10 of Symphogear GX. I liked bits and pieces of it. I did enjoy Ver's shenanigans. I very much do enjoy his character, and his voice acting is amazing. So I did very much enjoy his return. I do like that we got a confirmation for the theories of the songs are necessary, and it was 7-dimensional chess all along and stuff like that. Not a huge fan of the form it was delivered in, but I like that we did learn about it. Because it was high time that we figure those things out. I do like the whole scene with Carol and Elf9, where everybody's accepting of Carol and Carol is everybody's accepting of Elf9, and Carol is super disgruntled at it. Like, oh, I thought they're gonna hate her, but they're not hating her. How can it be? My plan has been foiled, right? I did enjoy that. Great example of teamwork with Chris, Shirabe, and Kirika, as I mentioned not long ago. A great setup for things that are to come or that might be to come. The fight with the little sister, that's gonna be cool. I can already tell. What are Carol's plans to replace the tablet? That's also intriguing. I'm assuming that it might have to do with Nephilim, but perhaps not. Perhaps she's gonna find some other way. We are increasing the mystery of the father, right? Why does Carol remember his words differently than from Elf9 if Elf9 was created from Carol's flesh and her memories and whatnot? So that's interesting. What else was cool in this episode? I think that's mostly just it. That's mostly just it. What wasn't cool is we are going again through the character growth of going back to status quo in the single episode of pulling an issue out of the ass and then resolving it and going back to how it was, right? If there wasn't, if the character growth moments of Chris in this episode didn't happen, Chris at the end of this episode would be no different than Chris at the beginning of this episode. That's the feeling. That's the feeling I'm getting, and that was the same with Hibiki. That was the same with Shirabe and Kirika. Maria and Tsubasa were handled well, so props for that. Wasn't a huge fan of exposition dump. I'd rather they do it more naturally, but what can you do? They did it this way because maybe time constraints, maybe something else, who knows. What else? No, I think that's it. I think that's it. All things considered, there weren't that many things I didn't like in this episode. Again, hardly the best of the season. Definitely not the best of the series so far. Serviceable for what it is. All in all, kind of skippable. Not fully, because some interesting and serious and important things do happen, but kind of inconsequential, mostly for Chris. But yeah, I like the setups. I'm looking forward to Ver's shenanigans. I really hope they go with my idea of Ver turning against Carol, because he might be a villain, but he's a hero first and foremost. That's the most defining trait of his. I'm looking forward to the kaiju battle. I'm looking forward to what Hibiki is gonna do about it. She's still in the hospital, so she's probably not gonna join the fight, or maybe she is. I mean, we're talking Hibiki here. She's if she had both her legs and arms broken and laying in a completely like in a suspended, like they have those like pulleys on hospital beds and whatnot, she'd probably still fucking transform and go to fight. Like a robot not being able to move her arms, but she'd just use her cast to punch people or something. That's Hibiki. What's gonna happen with her father? Hard to tell. Anything can happen. He might have a change of heart. Probably not. He's probably gonna stay a scumbag, and Hibiki is just gonna go no contact with him, and that's gonna be the end of it. Not like he was in particularly much contact with her in the first place. Not like he was seeking her out or anything. It's entirely Hibiki's idea. If she stopped contacting him right here, right now, he'd never contact her again. So I'm left wondering how they're gonna resolve that issue. Anything else that needs to be said? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna end it here, not gonna spin in circles. Overall, cool episode with flaws. GX seems to be the most flawed season in my eyes so far. Maybe the next one is gonna be better. Who knows? But still, overall, overarching story, characters, everything that I loved about Symphogear. Thumbs up. It's great, but with flaws. More than previous seasons. Okay, but what did you guys think about this episode? My reaction, my theories. Don't spoil me anything, please. I beg of you, do not. If you do want to talk spoilers, comment down below in the comments on YouTube. You can tell me what you think of this episode and stuff like that, as I mentioned, except for spoilers. If you do want to talk spoilers, my Discord link here and in the description. It's open, free for everybody to join, and it has a Symphogear channel where you can spoil to your heart's content if you use spoiler tags. Like this video. If you liked it, dislike the video, select it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Symphogear but also Ruby, Madoka Magica, Overlord Season 4, Hataraku Mausama Season 2, Yofukashi no Uta, and Disco Elysium that I also sometimes play. And I also stream sometimes, usually gacha games, but sometimes also other things. So subscribe, click the bell, you know what to do, because everybody tells you to do the same things. If you want to support the channel, you can do that monetarily on Patreon or Throne, links in the description. On Patreon for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonals like Symphogear, like Madoka, and for $1, you get a role on the Discord, and you also get a place in the credits. And on Throne, you can pitch in towards my purchase of some new gear, like a proper camera or better lighting or stuff like that, because I'm still recording with my phone. And if you don't want to spend any money, because our financial situations are varied, so I understand that, you can still help the channel if you want, without spending a cent. Share my content, spread the word, subscribe, maybe have your friends subscribe to the channel. Whatever you do, if you bring more people, or if you subscribe, or if you like, or if you comment, YouTube looks like that, and YouTube really does like when a channel is being watched and subscribed and stuff like that, and it's gonna promote my channel even higher and cause some organic growth from recommended and stuff like that. And organic growth is the best growth, let's be honest here. Yeah, that was a little bit too much shilling for my tastes, honestly. So I'm gonna end it here. That's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits I mentioned. You can be one of those people if only you so want.